Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Sakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamagyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandekam Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagra Jadam Sagagana Raghunadan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishobhana Sutte Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarupya Cha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhudale Srimate Jayapadara Swami Namne Namacharya Padaya Nitai Girvapradayane Gaura Gadadhamadaya Nagara Gramadhane. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhudale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasadesha Tarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the Bhagavad-gītā class. Today we are going to see the overview of 16th chapter. The title of the 16th chapter is Divine and Demoniac Nature. Before going into 16th chapter, we would briefly recap what we discussed yesterday from the 15th chapter. So, 15th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā was on Purushottama Yoga. So, in the Purushottama Yoga, we learned many things. The Yoga of the Supreme, that was the title. So in the Purushottama Yoga, or Yoga of the Supreme Lord, he tried to explain our entanglement in the material world using a metaphor of a banyan tree which is growing upside down with roots upward and branches downward. So using this metaphor, Krishna explained to us that the material world where we are presently living in is the reflection of the original spiritual world. So that means the spiritual world is eternal, that is the original, where everything is in perfect order. And material world is a reflection of that spiritual world. And therefore the qualities of the material world are different. Because if all the reflection can be there for some time, the reflection cannot be there for some time. whereas the original is always there. That means that the spiritual world is eternal. The reflection depending on the lighting, etc. And then sometimes it is visible, sometimes it's not visible even in the material plane. So same way the material world also appears sometime and disappears sometime. This the Supreme Lord explained. On this basis, Krishna tried to explain this complexity of the Aswatthama tree, the banyan tree, represents the complexity or network in which we are presently entangled in. Therefore, Krishna first he explained our situation in the material world, and he also mentioned the various leaves of the tree represents the Vedas. That one who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas, Krishna said. That means the one who understands. Actually, Veda gives us information about the Jivatma, about ourselves, about the material nature, about the Supreme Lord, about the Supreme planet or the spiritual world, and how we can disentangle ourselves from the clutches of the material world or Maya, and so that we can regain our kingdom in the spiritual world. So, therefore, Veda, one who knows the tree, he knows the Vedas. One who knows the Vedas can understand the tree, the tree of the material world. That is the meaning. And he also figuratively mentioned the twigs are the objects of the senses. So in the material world, there are these 5 objects of the senses. And the tree also has got roots going down, and these are bound to the fruity actions of human beings. Because we are also rooted in the tree, because we perform many fruity activities, that is activities performed with the expectation of enjoying the results. So Krishna, he continued his allegory further. There he mentioned that this tree cannot be perceived in this world, because when a person or a bird sitting inside the tree cannot possibly perceive the tree as a whole. So one who goes out of the tree can only perceive the tree. That means somebody who gets out of this spiritual material existence, from the spiritual plane, he can see the tree. So, and since we cannot perceive, we cannot know where it starts, where it ends, like that. So like that, Krishna, the point is Krishna has given a complete picture of how we Jivatmas are entangled in the material world. And then Krishna gives the advice, instruction to Arjuna. With the determination, one must cut down the strongly rooted tree with a weapon of detachment. So the detachment is a very important point, because to carry out devotion service, detachment from the material existence or material aspects is very important. So therefore he says, after detachment one should seek the place from which, having gone, one never returns, and surrender to that Supreme Personality Godhead. So like that, Krishna, using the allegory or metaphor, he explained our situation in the material world. Then he also gave a brief information about the spiritual world. So the spiritual world is quite different from the material world. And he says in the spiritual world, there is no need for any external illumination, because in the material world, we need sun for illumination in the daytime and moon for light or illumination in the nighttime. Krishna says, Na sad bhasayate suryo na sasanka na pavakaha. So there is no need for sun, moon, fire or electricity to illuminate the spiritual world. In spiritual world, everything is self-illuminating. And one who goes to the spiritual world, he does not have to come back again. Yad gatva na nivartante tatama paramamama. That is my supreme abode. Once having gone, one need not come back to the spiritual material world. That is the nature of the spiritual world. So briefly, Krishna has explained the nature of the spiritual world and what happens to one who attains to that planet. So the characteristics of the material world also he has explained. The characteristic of material world is temporary, changing, all this. So we have we have to reconnect ourselves with Krishna to go back to the spiritual world. And to get that understanding, Krishna also explained that it is Krishna who maintains every one of us in the material world by providing, of course, we have material body, and that is Sthula body, Sushma body, and our own self. So Krishna provides so many things for the maintenance of the physical body in the form of sunlight, moonlight, and air, water, etc. And then he also supplies so many eatables in the form of fruits, vegetables, and grains. And as moon, he provides the juice of life through these vegetables and grains, etc. that Krishna indicated. And then he also maintains our mind in the form of Paramatma. He stays with us. He gives us memory, forgetfulness, and intelligence. So that also we elaborately discussed yesterday. And the soul, Krishna gives information regarding the real identity of the soul, why the soul is suffering in the material world, how he can connect with the super soul so that all his miseries will end. And that way Krishna maintains in the material, that Jivatma in the material world by providing all these different ways, providing the maintenance for the body, mind, and the Atma. So then we also come to know the essence. Krishna gives another very important truth. There are two kinds of beings. One is fallible, another one is infallible. All the Jivatmas who are in the spiritual world, they are infallible. That means they never come under the influence of the three gunas or Maya. They are never attracted by Maya. Whereas the Jivatmas who are living in the material world like us, we are all attracted by Maya. Sometimes we are attracted to Krishna and we make some progress. Sometimes we even slip down and again try to climb up. So therefore the Jivatma like us living in the material world are fallible. Whereas Krishna is not one among these fallible or infallible. He is transcendental, and he is the controller of the Maya or the three gunas. Everything is working under him. So Krishna is transcendental. So Krishna is beyond the fallible and the infallible. So Krishna, therefore, he says, in fact, whoever knows me as the supreme personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything, Krishna says. So one who knows this Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead Krishna, without any doubt, as the Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead, and if he knows that truth without doubt, Krishna says he is the knower of everything. Therefore, he engages himself in full devotional service of me. And he further says, this is the most confidential part of Vedic scripture. It is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. So therefore, Krishna has given even what the result one will gain by understanding the knowledge given in the 15th chapter. So that's the brief summary of 15th chapter, what we have discussed yesterday. Today we are going to see the 16th chapter, that is on divine and demoniac nature. So what is the link between 15th and 16th chapter? So the Supreme Lord Krishna, he using the metaphor of banyan tree growing downwards, upside down, the situation in the material world, he explained using that metaphor. And he mentioned how the three modes of material nature, Sattva-guna, Sattva-gun, Rajogun, Tamogun, combine. They nourish the various branches of the tree. So Sattva, the three gunas combine, they nourish or nurture the various branches of the tree. So the branches of the tree, we have also seen that it represents the sense objects, and therefore the three gunas combined together nourishes the sense objects in the material world to which the Jivatma are attracted to. In the next two chapters, 16 and 17, Krishna is going to describe the higher and lower branches of the tree. So in the 16th chapter, we are going to see the higher branches of the tree. Krishna thus begins this chapter by describing the qualities. So higher and lower branches means the higher qualities and lower qualities. So the higher qualities are known as divine qualities, and the lower qualities are demoniac qualities. So the higher qualities are divine qualities, lead us to elevation and liberation from the material world. Demoniac qualities further entangles and leads to further trouble and degradation. So we are presently in the prison of the material world. By giving this example, or all this listing down all these various divine and demoniac qualities, Krishna actually wants us to associate with divine qualities. So if we take association of divine qualities or people with divine qualities, that will help us in our elevation or spiritual progress. At the same time, it is also a warning that we should not associate with the demoniac nature. So this is the basic connection. Then another way of analyzing the connection with the 15th chapter is, in the 15th chapter, Krishna said, the various leaves are the Vedas. One who follows the Vedas can understand the intricacies of the tree. That means intricacies of the material world. And another way of understanding is, if we follow these Vedas, if you follow the Vedas, then one is considered to be divine. If one does not follow the Vedas, then one can be considered as demoniac. So this is another way of understanding, and that is the connection between 15th and 16th chapter. Now in the 16th chapter, we have 3 sections based on the theme. First, Krishna lists down all the divine qualities and the demoniac qualities. And then what is the effect of the demoniac nature, and how we can choose between these 2 qualities. That's what. So Krishna, in the very first sloka, first 3 slokas, he lists down the various good qualities. There are 26 good qualities Krishna listing down in this 16th chapter. So it starts with Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhi Jnana Yoga Vyavastiti Dhanam Damascha Yagyacha Swadhyaya Stapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyam Akroda Tyaga Shanti Rapaisunam Daya Bhutesu Alolupto Madham Piri Rachapalam Teja Shama Dhriti Saucham Adroho Nati Manita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata. So like this, Krishna he listed down the 26 divine qualities, and he also listed down the 6 demoniac qualities. So in these 26 divine qualities, Krishna says these various qualities are also meant for sannyasi, for householder, for brahmacharis, like that. So Abhaya means fearlessness. So fearlessness is the quality for sannyas. Similarly, sattva samsuddhi, purifying one's existence, and jnana, knowledge, these are qualities prescribed for the sannyasis. And dhanam, charity, and controlling the mind, self-control, and performance of sacrifice, yajna, dana, dhamma, yajna. These are meant for householders, grahasthas. And then swadhyaya, that means study of the scriptures, and that is meant for brahmacharis. And similarly, tapas, austerity, this is meant for vanaprastha. Then he also mentions qualities to be practiced or to be acquired, are qualities that represents other varnas, brahmana, etc. Simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, mercy towards all living beings, freedom from greed, gentleness, modesty, determination. So these are all qualities to be acquired by brahmanas, or these qualities should be found in brahmanas. And then qualities meant for kshatriyas, that is teja, vigor, forgiveness, and fortitude. So similarly for vaishyas, the cleanliness, freedom from envy. So like that, nati manita, not expecting honor for the worker class. So like that, Krishna in these first 3 slokas, he has given the 26 qualities for the 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. By developing, cultivating these qualities, one can make spiritual process. So these divine qualities, because one who follows the Vedas, he can acquire these divine qualities. So according to Vedic rites, the activities in the mode of goodness are considered auspicious for progress on the path of liberation. And such activities are known as Daivi Prakriti or transcendental by nature. So in this chapter, Krishna he has given all these divine qualities. These qualities are described as transcendental qualities for making a person progress in spiritual understanding so that he can get liberated from material world. And similarly, Krishna also has given the 6 demoniac qualities, asuric qualities. So what are those 6 qualities? Damba, Darpa, Abhimanascha. Dambo, Darpa, Abhimanascha, Krodha, Parushyam, Yevacha, Ajnanam, Sabhijatasya, Partha, Sampadam, Asuri. Like that, Krishna gives pride, anger, conceit, pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. And these are qualities of the demoniac nature. So like that, Krishna has listed down these 26 divine qualities and 6 demoniac qualities. So the divine qualities are conducive for liberation. Therefore, we should associate with the divine qualities. Whereas the demoniac qualities, they make for bondage. That means we get bound to the material existence. So here, Arjuna had a doubt because he is going to engage in the fight. So whether this fight I am doing due to demoniac nature or am I really in the divine qualities? So Krishna here, he confirms or encourages Arjuna by telling him, do not worry, for you are born with divine qualities. Why he is considered to be divine? Krishna says, because you are considering the pros and cons of the war or the fight. And therefore, unless one has got the divine qualities, he will not be considering the pros and cons of such a war. So therefore, Krishna assured and encouraged Arjuna, saying that you are you have divine qualities. So this chapter, through real life case history, so the demoniac nature and divine nature. So those who have read are familiar with the Srimad Bhagavatam. No, there were 2 personalities, Titi and Aditi, wives of Kashyapa Rishi. Their characters taken, their qualities are taken from Srimad Bhagavatam and listed here. Aditi is one wife of Kashyapa, and Diti, and she is also, both are sisters. They are wife of Kashyap Muni, and qualities of these 2 are listed here. So these characteristics taken from Srimad Bhagavatam, she is selfish, impassioned, lusty, envious, like that, these qualities. After many days, Aditi's characteristics are described as selfless, beautiful, passion, composed, free from envy, like that, following the dharma, like that. The point is, we all have any of these, maybe even a combination of them, some qualities also. So when a mango is squeezed, it gives mango juice, and lemon is, when it is squeezed, it gives lemon juice. Similarly, when we are also put to such situation, troubled times, then we manifest the qualities in us. So if you are divine, then our response and will be different. If we share Demonia qualities, our response will be different. So Srila Prabhupada says, one's greatness has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. So Aditi, protection, no grudge. Titi, she wanted to Indra to be killed, and then she performed yagya, etc. So all these are some big stories. I will skip this. So now the results are based on the process. If you want Krishna, don't settle for anything less than devotional service. So the divine qualities, already I mentioned, these are all listed in here. And pride, arrogance, anger, harshness, ignorance, conceit, these are all demoniac qualities. So the summary of the demoniac nature, they do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Krishna here he says, and do not follow Shastra. They are self-centered, improper behavior, untruthful, unclean. So these are all listed in the Bhagavad-gītā shlokas. He neither likes nor follow these scriptural rules. So the summary of the demoniac characteristics, their understanding, Krishna himself says, they say the world is unreal. No God in control. So this is their proclamation, and that is their philosophy. Following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, they engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. So, because they have such a wrong understanding philosophy, they say the world is unreal with no God in control. Krishna says they will engage engagements. They will engage in unbeneficial activities. Who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works and to destroy the world. And here, Srila Prabhupada, the word used is ugra karma. Ugra karma means very horrible activities, painful, distressful, horrible, atrocious activities. Srila Prabhupada offers animal killing and developing nuclear weapons as examples of ugra karma. Then what will be their attitude? Illusion. I am the center of the universe. Such person thinks he is the center of the universe, and sense gratification is the only goal of life. And their mentality is mentioned. As Krishna says, bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. So this, from these 5-6 slokas, Krishna describes what is the philosophy being followed by these demoniac people or people with demoniac qualities, and what kind of engagements they involved in, and what is their attitude and the mentality. So mentality is described in 18th sloka. They are bewildered by false ego because they think they are the greatest, they are the center of the universe, and they think we have the very powerful, we are powerful, and because of this power, etc., they are having pride, and then they are driven by lust and anger. So therefore they are envious of the Supreme Lord. They will not like to care about him. though he is situated in their own bodies, they are envious of him. So what is the result? They are always in anxiety, illusion, hell, demoniac, because that is the result. Krishna further says that I will cast them into various demoniac species and they will glide down further and further. So this, their actual achievement is they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell, Krishna says. So by their own action, they glide down into hell. They are self-complacent, always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige. They sometimes proudly perform some sacrifices in name only, without following any rules and regulations. So therefore, the result is degradation. And the lesson, if you think I am the controller and the enjoyer, I am perfect and most powerful. Krishna lists all them. I have killed all my enemies, or I have defeated all my enemies, and I am happy. I am the Lord of everything that I survey. So all these type of mentalities, they represent that we are demoniac. If we share any of this kind of mentality, it is demoniac. So the first step towards cure is diagnosis. So first of all, we should understand what are the kind of qualities we possess. We must do a introspection and a self-check. Check in what all aspects do I have these tendencies. And with the help of Krishna, we should try to uproot if any demoniac quality is present in us. So like this, Krishna explained the divine and demoniac nature. Krishna then, this is very important point. Trividam narakashyadam dvaram nasanam atmanaha kama kurodas tada lobas tasmat etat trayam tyajat. There are the three gates leading to this hell. Earlier in the 20th sloka, Krishna says, attaining repeated birth amongst species of demoniac life. O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. So here, according to Srila Baladeva Vidyabhushana, now Arjuna asks a question to Krishna. So now, after people hear these points, hearing this, people hearing this are going to want to give up these qualities. What can they do to accomplish this? Krishna answers this question in this way, represent us with our own choice. Either adopt a demoniac life and become degraded, or reject it and obtain the supreme destination. So this is a self-analysis or Baladeva Vidyabhushana giving. It's not actually in Bhagavad-gītā, but if Arjuna asks this question, what would be Krishna's reply? So Krishna's reply is, either this is a choice. There are divine and demoniac. If you adopt demoniac life, and then you become degraded. If you adopt divine qualities, and then you will attain supreme destination. This is the point. So there are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. So Krishna here very clearly says, every sane man should give this up, for they lead to degradation of the soul. Here in the analysis, Krishna orders every sane person to give up these three things: lust, anger, and greed. So those qualities are so vicious that even one possessing divine nature should fear them. So even a person possessing divine qualities should fear this lust, anger, and greed. So in this further, Srila Prabhupada, when analyzing this sloka, he says, when kama is unsatisfied, that is lust is unsatisfied, then krodha, anger is born. And anger is very difficult to control. And krodha appears only when our desires are checked. So when somebody comes as an obstacle to our lust or kama, then we develop krodha or anger on that person. Suppose if, let us say, there is no obstacle and our lust is fully satisfied, then what is the result? Because our desires are fulfilled, do we then become peaceful? No, because we are filled with lopa, greed. The desire never ends. So it increases. We develop greedy, that is lust, anger, greed. So when greed, that it give rise to moha, illusion. And when one is in illusion, we lose our discriminatory power. What is right, what is wrong, that discriminatory power is lost. Then comes mada, that means intoxication of pride. So I am so powerful, I am great. So we develop that pride. From the mixture of these five, that is lust, anger, greed, moha, and mada, the demoniac, that mixture of these five comes envy. That is, we develop the envious nature, matsara. So all these qualities manifest fully. So it is starting point is lust, anger, greed. So from other things automatically manifest as a byproduct. So therefore all these demoniac qualities are rooted in lust only. That is why Krishna in the previous chapter, when Arjuna asked by what one is forced to do sinful activities, as if pushed or forced by power. So to that Krishna said, it is kama only that pushes us or force one to do sinful activities. Kamesha, krodesha, rajoguna samudbhava, Krishna says. So if we avoid this demoniac, so here the three gates are just figuratively shown: kama, krodha, and lust, anger, and greed. So these are the three gates leading to the hell. Now we have a choice. We can perform acts for self-realization following the Vedic scriptures. Then we can escape the gates, attain the supreme destination. Or we can reject the scriptures, act as per our own desires whimsically, and then the result would be miserable and we can further degrade ourselves. So here in the 22nd sloka, Krishna gives the result. What result does their avoidance? Suppose if we are able to avoid lust, anger, greed, and what is the result we would achieve? The man who has escaped these three gates of hell performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attain the supreme destination. If we are able to avoid this lust, anger, greed, and the other three, then we perform activities that would be conducive for our self-realization. And therefore, we would be able to attain the supreme destination. So therefore, our choice is very clear. So in the 16th chapter, Krishna has given the list of divine qualities, demoniac qualities, and what is the result of following the divine qualities and what is the result of following the demoniac qualities. So he leaves the choice to us. Our choice is clear. Choosing to escape the banyan tree of material world entails choosing to free ourselves from lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy. So earlier, in the 15th chapter, we have seen Krishna has very clearly explained. We are entangled in the banyan tree like material existence. By choosing the spiritual path or divine qualities, we can escape the banyan tree. We can escape the material existence. That entails choosing to free ourselves. So that means we have to free ourselves from lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy. Yet, contemporary civilization, so the present world situation is such, being demoniac explicitly encourages the cultivation of lust, anger, greed. So every activity, every advertisement, it encourages this. So therefore, Krishna now offers two verses as conclusions to this chapter. Krishna first, by giving a negative statement, Krishna directs us to bring our activities in line with this Shastra. Then through a positive statement also he gives. So in the 23rd sloka, Krishna says, he who discards scriptural injunctions, whatever Krishna instructed now, these are all conclusion of the scriptural injunctions. And those who discard Krishna's injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness and nor the supreme destination. Therefore, their future is very bleak. And then he finally, in the 24th sloka, concluding sloka, he makes a positive statement. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavastitu Gnatva Shastra Vido Noktam Karma Kartum Iharvesi. So therefore, one should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. So to this, Srila Prabhupada gives some further analysis. In human society, aversion to the principles of understanding Supreme God is the cause of all fall down. So in our present, in a human society, if you have aversion means not having the desire or rejection of Krishna, that the aversion to the principles of understanding the Supreme Lord, that is the main cause of our fall down. This is the greatest offense of human life. Therefore, Maya, the material energy, is always giving us trouble. Those who are averse to the Supreme Lord, when in the material world, they are given trouble by Maya. Maya always giving us trouble by the three ways of suffering: Adhyatmik, Adibhautik, Adidaivik miseries. So one has to rise himself at least to the mode of goodness. So at least we should rise to the mode of goodness before the path to understanding the Supreme Lord. So first of all, we should raise our consciousness or qualities to Sattva-gun. Without rising oneself to the Sattva-gun, one remains in ignorance and passion. And those in the mode of passion and ignorance deride the scriptures, deride holy men, and deride the proper understanding of God. So they disobey the instructions of the spiritual master. Thus they manufacture their own way of elevation. So all these are gradual leading to degradation. So therefore, we have to have the proper criteria and follow the proper rules and guidelines. So this is the overview of the 16th chapter. It is very simple. There are divine and demoniac qualities, and following the divine qualities or associating with divine qualities means it leads to further growth and spiritual development, ultimately getting out of the material clutches and going back to the spiritual world. And following the demoniac qualities means it is further degradation, and even within the material world, we would be getting very lower birth and hellish existence. So therefore, Krishna here in this chapter, he gives a choice to us, which one to take, either divine qualities or demoniac qualities. Hare Krishna, we'll stop here. If you have any question, you can ask. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay, I have small announcement. I have posted a message to chat. What Rangaraj Prabhu have been teaching, he is teaching from the book Bhagavad-gītā as it is, written by Srila Prabhupada. So, and this is as it is, without any alteration, the message of Lord Krishna has been delivered. So, you can purchase this copy of Bhagavad-gītā online, and we will be sending you the hard copies to your mailing address. And this book is available in all 5 languages, and you can order for yourself and your family members and friends and relatives. The cost of the book is 299 rupees, including some small token of donation and delivery charges.
Okay, Hare Krishna, if there are no questions, so we will close the session. I thank all the devotees who have attended today's Bhagavad-gītā class. Tomorrow we'll be seeing the 17th chapter. So that is also related to 16 and 17 are related chapters. And tomorrow morning we'll meet. I thank all the devotees for participating continuously for so many days. So I thank our Raja Prabhu for his help in hosting the program. Hare Krishna. We'll meet again tomorrow morning.